This is Nethroi, the apex of death. He's a 5/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink for 5 mana, and he has a special mutate ability. Whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Mass reanimation spell in the command zone. Seems good. This is the Goose. The Goose is loose. I love this thing. It's my Birds of Paradise, a Birds of Paradise for the Pioneer Age. Does so much fucking work. Viscera Seer. 1 mana, it's a 1/1 sack outlet. You could scry, I guess. Nest Invader. For 2 mana, it's a 2/2 Eldrazi Drone. When it enters the battlefield, you get a spawn token. Spawn tokens are just mana producers, but since he enters the battlefield and creates a token, when we reanimate him with Nethroi, we don't have to worry about the power of the token. But it's a 0 anyway, because it's a spawn. Land, this land. We're not going to talk about lands. Not at the moment, at least. Skull Clamp. 1 mana. Put it on some 1/1s. Get cards. Deathrite Shaman. I'm going to be honest. Deathrite Shaman is in here because I own a playset and they banned it in fucking Modern, I think it was. And I've been upset ever since. And I play it in every commander deck because it's still allowed. Carrier Thrall. That's another Nest Invader. I mean, it gives you a Scion instead of a spawn, so you get power. Pernicious Deed. It's an enchantment wipe, it's kind of delayed. You put some of the mana up front, and then you gotta pay X later, but, you know, it wipes a lot of things. Yawgmoth. He's a free sack outlet that also puts -1/-1 counters on creatures, draws you cards, and allows you to proliferate. It's good. Protection against humans You might block a human once in a while, but who gives a shit really? Dark Prophecy. Whenever a creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. It's another Midnight Reaper. It's another Fecundity. Whenever a creature dies, that creature's controller may draw a card, but it's foil and it's more redundancy on that front. A lot of those effects in here. When creatures die, we draw cards. Twilight's Call. It's a mass reanimation spell. Because once again, I like redundancy. I like decks that do the thing that they're trying to fucking do. Mass reanimation spell in the command zone, mass reanimation spell in our hand, and if we pay an extra 2, we can cast it in instant speed. Of course, they get all of their creature cards from their graveyard to the battlefield as well, but we don't care. They're going to be dying. Eladamri's Call. It's a tutor. Pattern of Rebirth. If you're an old head, you know. We're going to have to talk about this more in a little bit, but I'll read it for the moment. It's 3 and a green for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Whenever an enchanted creature dies, that creature's controller may search their library for a creature card, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle their library. I'm going to put that one over here, because we're going to talk about that again in a little bit. Court of Calling. Instant speed, search your library for a creature, put it on the battlefield with Convoke. Good cards, right? I can't believe I don't play this deck more often. Greater Good. Another free sack outlet, except this time we draw cards equal to the sacked creature's power. Then we discard 3 cards, but either way, we're gonna move on through them cards real quick. An Aristocrat. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. It's got reach and death touch, and power and toughness. 2/3. It makes it better than most Blood Artists. Smothering Abomination. Whenever you sack a creature, you draw a card. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you have to sack a creature. More cards drawn. Catacomb Sifter. This is a Nest Invader. This is a Pawn of Ulamog. Comes in, it gives you a creature that could be mana that allows you to sacrifice it to itself. That's why I like the Spawns and Scions here, because you don't need a sack outlet. You play Catacomb Sifter, it gives you a 1/1 Scion. That Scion can choose to sacrifice itself to ramp you. So you get the benefit of all your Aristocrats types effects and an additional mana, and you didn't need a sack outlet. Grim Hollow Specs, more the same. Blood Artist. It's an Aristocrat, the original. Reclamation Sage. Enters the battlefield, you may destroy artifact or enchantment. Gonna be reanimating, it's gonna do work. Boonweaver Giant. This goes in the stack with Pattern of Rebirth. Actually, you know what? This is essentially the thing. Now I jammed this in here. This deck was not intended to do this, but I needed a deck to put this nonsense into, so I jammed in Boonweaver Giant. It's a 4/4 Giant Monk for 6 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your graveyard, hand, and or library for an aura card, put it onto the battlefield attached to Boonweaver Giant. I'm going to put that with the pattern of Rebirth up here. Fiend Hunter, it's got a low power, so it gets reanimated from Nethroi easily. It exiles a troublesome creature while it's on the battlefield, so we'll count the DFCs as cards and lands secondarily. So here's Agadeem's Awakening. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have a different converted mana cost, X or less. It's a mass reanimation spell that is a land. It's good. Kozilek's Predator. It's a Nest Invader, it's a Catacomb Sifter, it's a Spawn Sire of Ulamog, it's Zulaport Cutthroat. It's a Blood Artist. It's an Aristocrat. Viridian Emissary. It's a Reclamation Sage. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's a Steve. Yeah. When it's put in the graveyard, though, you get a land. It's ramp when it dies. Summoner's Pact. Instant speed. 0 green mana. 0 mana. Tutor for a green creature? Yeah, green creature. Tutor for a green creature. Put it in your hand after revealing it. But then you lose the game unless you pay the cost at your next upkeep. 2 and a green. 2 and 2 green. But most of the time you're gonna go grab the thing that you need. I mean, it doesn't even matter. You're gonna be able to pay the mana every time anyway, so who gives a shit? Cruel Celebrant. It's a Blood Artist. Birds of Paradise. I like ramp. We're playing green. We play turn 1 ramp. Assassin's Trophy could come out, but I mean, it's 2 mana. Destroy target permanent. It's pretty good. Instant speed. Grist the Hunger Tide. He's in here because he's a Planeswalker that is a 1/1 insect when he's in the graveyard, so we can reanimate him with Nethroi. And I pull him out of pack. He's kind of cool. I just wanted to play with him. I'm not even sure I've ever used him, and honestly, I don't know his abilities, and if I ever do use him, he's probably not going to do anything for me in the game. But he has an interesting ability, a one-of-a-kind style interesting ability, and I like that. Mazarek. Crowl. I think Crowl. Mazarek. Death Priest. Legendary creature insect shaman for 3, a black and a green, a 2/2. Whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. I'm going to be sacrificing so many permanents. So I'm going to be putting Cathar's Crusade on. I'm going to put it to shame. Dire Fleet Hoarder. It's kind of like the Scions and Spawns. When it dies, create a treasure token. 2 mana. We're rampant. Elves of Deep Shadow. It's a Birds of Paradise. It's a blah blah blah. It's 1 mana. Sack Outlet. Ashnod's Altar. Need I say much? I think not. Fiend Artisan. It's a tutor. You put it out. It sacrifices the creature. Sacrifices another creature on the board to go find a creature from your deck and put it on the battlefield. That is good. That one's going to find Boonweaver Giant almost always. In fact, every tutor we have that can find Boonweaver Giant is going to find Boonweaver Giant. Why? Because I like nonsense. Altar of Dementia. Don't plan on milling anybody out. Just need another 2 mana sack outlet. Burning Rune Demon. It's another tutor. When it enters, you may search your library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Range Demon that have different names. If you do reveal them, one goes into your hand, the other goes into your graveyard. The one that goes in your graveyard gets reanimated. So you get both of them. It's a double tutor. Death's Oasis. It's not really a reason to have this here. It's an Ikoria commander. It's an Ikoria ability. I don't know why I'm still running this. Karmic Guide. This is going to go with the Boonweaver and Pattern of Rebirth stack. It's 5 mana, flying protection from black with Echo. When it enters the battlefield, return creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That goes there. Another ramp, turn 1 piece, Absence Pilgrim. Carrion Feeder, 1 mana sack outlet. Corpse Connoisseur. It searches for a card and puts it in our graveyard. That's another tutor. Wow! This is a severely optimized deck. I realize that I must look like an asshole in casuals. Erebos. Bleak-Hearted. He's an indestructible god. A 5/6 for 3 and a black. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebos isn't a creature. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. Sacrifice another creature for 1 and a black. Target creature gets -2/-1 until end of turn. So many options, so much stuff to do, so much strength, such a powerful piece. Thank you, Erebos, for existing and being in my deck and having a cool constellation frame. Let's hear it for Erebos, everybody. Oh, it's Llanowar Elf. Turn 1 ramp. Eyeless Watcher. 2 Scions. Luminous Broodmoth. This is good. Whenever a creature you control without flying dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. So if you remove those counters or prevent them from being put on the creature in the first place, you can just sack something infinitely. And I have a way to pull the counter off Eyeless Watcher. Bloop, sack it, bloop, sack it, bloop, sack it, ad infinitum. Rally the Ancestors. It's a mass reanimation spell. Got one there, got one there, got one there, blah blah blah. Every good deck needs interaction. If you want to win, you're going to need some interaction. Anguish Unmaking is a classic commander piece. Maybe it's fallen out of favor a little more these days, but it's still a great card. Any permanent, instant speed, exile. Not a lot that's better. Tessa Karlov. I got a lot of things doing a lot of things from dying. She doubles it. Also, we're creating a lot of creature tokens, and now they have Vigilance and Lifelink. Primal Druid. It ramps for 2 mana. It's a creature. So all our ramp pieces are creatures, and everything that we can have as a creature is a creature, so that we can get our effects repetitively as we play our mass reanimation spells and sack the creatures over and over. Blister Pod. It's another Scion, except this one only costs 1 mana to create. Corpse Knight. That's another Aristocrat. Sifter of Skulls. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. So everything that isn't a token that dies creates a Scion token. Lots of Scion. There's Steve. We got a Steve. If we've got Steve's challenged cousin, we also have Steve. Caustic Caterpillar doesn't rack up the count on Nethroi, and you can sack it to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Eldritch Devolution searches your library for a creature and it puts it onto the battlefield. At the same time, as an additional cost, you must sacrifice a creature. It does everything we want. Rebel Arc, old school. Returns 2 creatures with power 2 or less to the battlefield when it enters the battlefield, which here can be really good. In fact, here is really good. And we're going to put it over in the Karmic Guide, Boonweaver Giant, and Pattern of Rebirth stack. Living Death. It's a mass reanimation spell. Everybody sacks everything that they have on the battlefield, creatures that they have on the battlefield, and returns all the creatures that were in their graveyard to the battlefield. That could be a heavy upset for other decks, whereas for me, it's just the continued cycle. The Pattern of Rebirth, if you will. Blood Pet. Turn 1 mana ramp on a creature that sacrifices itself. Synergy. Safi Eric's Daughter. Sacrifice Safi Eric's Daughter. When target creature is put into your graveyard this turn, return that card to the battlefield. That could go with our combo pile. And then we've got just my tokens. We've got some scions and spawns and foods and get a clue. Oh wait, that's a goat. And some more scions and spawns and treasure. Okay, so go through the lands real quick before explaining the other shit, I guess. I'm just gonna rapid fire these without much talk. You gotta make compromises sometimes. Once again, you gotta make compromises sometimes. Crystal Vein. I love Crystal Vein. What's gonna allow me? Some forests, some basic lands. Falling Dead, that makes a bunch of scions. Nash Parents. Here we go. I don't know why I planted Bloodstained Mire here. I guess just because I had a fetch laying around. I like this. That's fancy. That's nice looking. We don't have fucking 20 Temple Gardens, and we like green and white as a secondary. So, sue me, I don't know. It's in fucking my Pioneer deck. Oop. Ooh, yeah. Look at that comic book style showcase frame on the Indatha Triome. What a pretty piece of cardboard. Same with the Branchless Pathway. These Pathway cards, I like them a lot. Showcase looking ones. More compromises with our Bad River. As well. This is the Pattern of Rebirth Boonweaver Giant combo. It is stupid. It takes many steps. I must now explain them all to you. With a sack outlet on the field, we can do one of two things. We can either play Pattern onto a creature we already have, or we can play Boonweaver. Either one of these will start the combo. For simplicity's sake, to not add another creature into the mix, I'm going to go with playing Boonweaver. We search our library for an aura and put it on Boonweaver. That aura is going to be, you guessed it, Pattern of Rebirth. So here we have our enchanted Boonweaver Giant. We sack it to Yawgmoth. Oh no! Pattern of Rebirth. We search our library for a creature card, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle. We are going to search for Karmic Guide. When Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, we're going to choose a creature in our graveyard and return it to the battlefield. We're going to return Boonweaver Giant. When Boonweaver Giant enters the battlefield, we may search our graveyard, library, or hand for an aura and put it on him. We're going to choose Pattern of Rebirth. Now, we're going to sacrifice the Karmic Guide to trigger Yawgmoth's ability to put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, and we draw a card. So we sack Karmic Guide, we get a card, we put a -1/-1 counter on something. Now we sacrifice Boonweaver Giant again. Boo, 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 boo. Pattern of Rebirth and Boonweaver go to the graveyard. We search our library for Revelark. When Revelark enters the battlefield, we choose two creatures in our graveyard with power 2 or less and put them on the battlefield. One of the creatures in our graveyard has power 2 or less. That is Karmic Guide. When Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, we will choose to return Boonweaver Giant to the battlefield. When Boonweaver returns, we'll choose to return Pattern of Rebirth onto Boonweaver Giant. And then you know what we're going to do, right? I bet you know what we're going to do. We're going to sacrifice Boonweaver Giant to go get Safi Eric's daughter. Alright. Now, we're going to sacrifice Safi Eric's daughter to reanimate Revelark when it dies. So we sack Safi Eric's daughter. We sack the Karmic Guide. Get a card, -1/-1 counter, and now we sacrifice Revelark. Safi, Eric's daughter, says that when Revelark dies, it's gonna come back. So we return Revelark. Revelark says take 2 creature cards with power 2 or less in our graveyard and put them onto the battlefield. We're gonna choose Safi, Eric's daughter, and Karmic Guide. When Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, we will choose to reanimate Boonweaver Giant. When Boonweaver Giant enters the battlefield, we will choose to reanimate Pattern of Rebirth onto Boonweaver Giant. We will now sacrifice Boonweaver Giant to the Yawgmoth to draw a card, put a counter on something. We'll sacrifice Safi Eric's targeting Revelark. We'll sacrifice Karmic Guide. We'll sacrifice Revelark, return Karmic Guide, and Safi Eric's returning Boonweaver Giant, returning Pattern of Rebirth, returning Revelark. Now, every single time that we commit this atrocity of a loop, we will search our library for a creature card and put it onto the battlefield, pulling every single creature card out of our deck and onto the battlefield. So yeah, that was fucking 15 minutes explaining one combo. And that's what you have to do every time you sit down at a commander table and pull out the combo. I love it because it is extremely convoluted. You know what's better than winning? Confusing the shit out of my opponents. That's a head scratcher. Okay. That's it. That is Nethroi, Apex of Death. Or at least, that's the way I built it. Peace.